right. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Anything? Sorry, I need to put my glasses on. I can barely read these comments. I've been trying to wean myself off of wearing glasses because I just don't like wearing them. Not that that matters in any way, shape, or form to anything that you guys want to hear about. Yeah, so Nick asked 2018 releases. You know what, man? This has been the first year that I really haven't paid a lot of attention to things that are supposed to be coming out. I usually will try to like check and see all the things that are coming out. And yeah, this year I simply didn't do that. So yeah, I'm fucking up, man. I'm really fucking up. I need to fix that. I don't really know what's supposed to come out this year. I'm so sorry. I need to do better. That's all. I just need to do better. That's all there is to it. Let's see. What other questions here? How do you feel about psychedelic music? That was from Undertaker Rules 19. Undertaker Rules, I like psychedelic music, but it depends on the band. I'm more into like psychedelic folk, like old school psychedelic folk, like Incredible String Band, Perry Leopold, like freak folk, like Comus, that type of stuff. I'm really into that kind of thing, but I don't know, stuff like Lovecraft. I like them, but I'm not super duper into it. So I guess it would kind of depend on what you mean by psychedelic music. So yeah, hopefully that kind of answered your question. Probably not. Delta Judge, what's your take on 2000s pop punk? It pains me every time I try to talk about hardcore and people start going on and on about how much they love Good Charlotte and Sum 41. Yeah, that would hurt me too. You know, when Good Charlotte was really popular, that was after high school. I don't remember what year that they got really hot, but I know that was after like MTV found punk rock, and it was after like all the jocks at my school started getting into like punk and thinking that they were punks. But it also might have been after I really even cared enough to be annoyed by this. So I honestly don't really remember what the mind state was. I remember I didn't like them. I remember that I thought they were absolutely fucking awful. I don't want to be you. Don't want to be you. And I was like, oh, this is fucking garbage. I thought then they were fucking awful. And throughout the rest of their career, when they had like the lifestyles of the rich and famous, fucking bitch. Like, absolutely fucking awful. Sum 41, I actually thought that their songs were bad, but I thought it was pretty interesting that they could actually play their instruments really well. Like, those guys are real musicians. They just write bad songs. I don't remember the one I know it was called Fat Lip, but I don't remember how it went at all. I just remember that I hated it. Yeah, that was a tough time to be into punk, you know? But I think that was when I started like listening to more metal anyway, so I just didn't really care that much. I don't know, even now when I talk to people about punk rock, it's very rare, but usually it's at a bar where we're all drinking and we're just talking about fucking random old punk bands, you know? I don't really know too much about newer punk. You know, one of my favorite, actually my definite favorite newer punk band is Reviver. I've talked about them a million times. Like, I think Reviver is fantastic. And I feel like if you like some of the more angsty, melodic punk, you know, like Jawbreaker, I think you'd love Reviver. Propaganda's new record is fucking fantastic, if that helps any. Okay, so Delta Judge says, I just think pop punk is so depressing since to me it's so far away from the fuck you attitude I grew to love. Nah. I don't want to go to school. Shut the fuck up. Dude, no. Descendants were great. Sorry, Descendants were great. But then again, that's probably what they're going for, so I can't really complain. I mean, trust me, dude, that's a valid complaint, man. Like, when I was getting into punk rock, I was getting into the more angry, and I don't want to say political because I don't really like using that word, but it was more the angsty, in your face, fuck you type of punk rock that you're talking about. But it was also some of the bratty stuff, like one of the first punk rock bands I ever heard in ninth grade was NoFX, and they were just bratty and stupid and snotty. Another one of the first punk bands I ever heard was Operation Ivy, who, yeah, sure, they had some political leanings, some social conscious leanings, but, a lot of it was just bratty punk rock. And I still love Operation Ivy to this day. They're one of the bands that I would seriously fly for a reunion show. Screeching Weasel was another one of the first punk rock bands. This is before I found hardcore, but this is just straight up punk rock. But that stuff, that stuff appealed to me, being in ninth grade, being a kid at a weird school where I'm picked on all the time, where, people were throwing shit at me and pushing me into lockers, and I couldn't get a girlfriend to save my life, so yeah, all that shit resonated with me. I didn't get more into like political stuff and activism stuff until I got into hardcore, which was around 10th grade. So yeah, trust me, I totally get it. I totally get why you would hate pop punk, but I don't know, sometimes I like a little bit of fun with my anger. Fucking lifestyles of the rich and fame. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. What was the best celebrity interaction that you've ever had? Brother Ali. Fucking easy, dude. Easy. Brother Ali. I guess it depends if you want to call him a celebrity, but he's a goddamn celebrity to me. This guy is one of the best rappers to ever pick up a microphone. So yeah, he's a celebrity to me. But yeah, when I first met Brother Ali, he was one of the most genuine, kindest, nicest people I have ever met. And it didn't even matter the fact that, like, when Dead End Hip Hop walked in the room, he was just like, oh shit, Myke, Beezy, Kent, like he knew who we were. That wasn't even it. It was like when I'm talking to him, I could, one, tell that he'd watched the show before. Two, I could tell that he had like actually processed the things that we had said. And three, I could tell that even if he didn't agree with what we were saying, he at least respected the fact that we did say it, if that makes sense. So having this conversation with Brother Ali was just so cool. So then after that, when like we actually exchanged phone numbers, he actually would text, or if I would send him something and he would respond back. It was just weird. I'm not going to act like we're buddies. Like, we're not like best friends at all. But I genuinely appreciate him. And I remember when he played Atlanta like 2 or 3 years ago. They were going to go see a movie. And he actually texted me and was like, yo, me and the crew are going to go see this movie. It would be really dope if you wanted to come. And I was like, Brother Ali just texted me to go to a fucking movie. Like, I felt like that nerdy girl in school in like the movie, and like the football jock like asked her out to prom. She's just like, oh my god, Cindy Chet called. He wants me to go to prom. Oh my god. We've met some really nice people. Alchemist. Holy fuck. Alchemist was one of the nicest people. Like, he's another one that when I met him, it was just weird that he actually knew the fuck I was, cared about who I was, and just wanted to sit down and just talk about stuff. Talk about hip-hop. He wanted to just tell us all these stories that we've never heard. Like, that interview is up, but you guys understand that interview is probably half of what we actually talked about in that room. Like, Alchemist is one of the nicest dudes, let alone one of the dopest producers. Al Jarreau. I met Al Jarreau. He was super cool. Super, super, super nice. Brandy. I met Brandy. Brandy was super nice and just fine as shit in person. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got for that one. Zane, did you hear the Chloroseptic remix by M where he attempts to defend his new album? I did, and we actually, last night, we filmed a whole video about that, because in the, and you guys are getting some, what do you call it, some tasty tidbits that are not public, but, No, like it matters. Like, ooh, tasty tidbits from Dennis. Like anybody gives a shit. Anyways, I said in the M review that I felt like he couldn't rap the way he used to anymore. And I'm not gonna lie, after that Chloroseptic remix, I think I was totally incorrect. I don't know what it is that happened. That's the thing. It's like, clearly M can still rap. Clearly that dude still has bars. Clearly he still has anger and hunger in him, but I just think it's a shame that it takes the entire internet turning against him and saying your album sucks. That's what it takes for him to actually get on a mic and rap again. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it makes it more confusing that his album was so whack. Because if you can rap like you did on Chloroseptic, why would you not rap like that like all the time? It's almost like he had that I'm gonna get nerdy for a minute, like that Wolverine Berserker rage for a hot minute, and then after he used it up, he was just so tired. And like it's like he only has like that one little burst of energy, and then the rest of it he's just like mediocre as shit. Like, I don't get it. But it does make me hope that M has another album in him, at least one more, because I can't see him ending his career on Revival. I can't. So yeah, hopefully he does something after that. Delta Judge, nah man, that's not hunger, that's pride. He'll be back to creating garbage when this dies down. You're probably right. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not hunger. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's definitely pride. That's kind of what I meant, but you're right. I think that he was angry that people doubted him. But when you are one of the best MCs of all time, it should not take people doubting you in order for you to actually show them why they shouldn't doubt you, if that makes sense. Like, you're one of the best MCs of all time, so therefore your catalog should be all that you have to say. Tyree Harris, how do you rank Eminem's discography? Ooh, that's a good question. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm grabbing my phone now, and I'm gonna pull up his discography. I'm gonna say number 1 would have to be Marshall Mathers LP. Number 2 would have to be the Slim Shady LP. Number 3 would have to be Eminem Show. Number 4, Infinite. Number 5, Relapse. I don't care what y'all say. I think Relapse is a dope ass album. I think Marshall Mathers 2 is better than Recovery. So number 6, I'm going to say Marshall Mathers 2. Number 7, I'm going to go with Recovery. Number 8, I'm going to give Encore. And number 9, Revival, because I think Revival is his worst record. So yeah, that's my ranking of M albums. I discovered Eminem off of a Ka-single. I don't know if any of you guys are old enough to remember Ka-singles, but they were cassette singles, and it was a song called "Just Don't Give a Fuck" off of the Slim Shady LP. And my roommate had given it to me because I was a big fan of stuff like Cage, and I remember loving Cage's Movies for the Blind, and my boy being like, "Yo, if you like that, you should check out this M dude. This M guy used to have beef with Cage." So when I listened to the Just Don't Give a Fuck, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty damn cool. And then I remember when the LP came out, the Slim Shady LP came out, he had that line on there where it's like the Ken Kniff is doing the prank call, and he's like, who is this, Cage? When you listen to Cage's LP, the first song has that sampled in it. That who is this, Cage? So I was like, whoa, these two worlds totally clashing, I guess. I know it's terrible, but here in Norway, Eminem and G Unit got a lot of kids into hip hop. Damn, you're in Norway. I was actually supposed to go to Norway last year, but I lost my job, and couldn't afford it. I was supposed to go to Iceland and Norway. Delta Judge, you probably don't give a shit, but I wanted to go to Helvet, which it's called Nesblad now. I'm sure I'm totally butchering that name. But it's like the classic old school black metal store. I was supposed to go there last year and I just didn't get to go. Hopefully within the next year or two I'll get to do that, because I definitely want to see Norway. Yeah. Oh, so you're talking about Norway. It's beautiful here. Delta Judge. Oh, live in Bergen, and used to hang out in a bar garage where, oh shit, the guy from Enslaved worked when they weren't touring. Nice. That's really cool. Although it's one of those things where ideally I would like to meet some of those dudes, but I'm not dumb enough to not think that some of them might harbor like weird racist views. I would love to meet some of the guys from Enslaved. I would love to meet Isan from Emperor. I'm sure at this point, I'm pretty sure he's not racist at all. I would love to meet fucking Fenriz, you know. I'd love to meet some of these guys, but it's just part of me would just be like a little bit wary that they might, I don't know, you know, whatever. Either way, it's pretty damn cool that you met homeboy from Enslaved. That's really, really, really cool. Oh wait, hold on, let me go back to Delta Judge real quick. Race is not really a thing the same way as in the States, but black metal definitely has a shady history. Not saying people are not racist. No, I know what you mean. I totally know what you mean. I understand that in some places, the racism isn't so much as simple as we don't like this person's skin color. I know in some places it's more, we're not used to you. Like in the Ukraine, you know, there's a lot of like bands like Druk. It's my understanding that a lot of these guys, it's not so much that they're just, we hate blacks, we hate Asians, we hate this and that. It's more so there really aren't a lot of other races in these areas. So it's more like they want to keep their area the way it is. I mean, God, me saying it out loud, yeah, it's definitely fucked up, but I understand that there's nuance there. Not saying one type of racism is better than another, but I'm not ignorant enough to think that all of these race-centric beliefs are completely the same. I don't know where I was going with that. Who cares? And not to keep harping on race here, guys. I've been listening to black metal since, God, 1992. And when I first got into black metal, you know, the whole racist element wasn't a big part of it. Like, or it was, but we didn't know about it. Like, you know, I was in fucking high school, middle school, whatever. I didn't know anything about the dynamics and the details of their views on race. I didn't understand that until I got much older. Druk is one of those bands that I always thought that they were just racist. I'd read that they were NS, so I just didn't bother listening to them, because I knew if I listened to them, I'd want to buy the records. And I don't judge other people on how they spend their money, but my feeling has always been, if I am going to put my money behind a band, I don't want to be giving my money to a racist band that might be donating my money to a racist organization. So, all that to be said, I will listen to these bands now and just not pay for their albums. But after doing more research, I do not think that Druk is actually racist. The guy, Roman, I forget his last name, I think that there are some things he said in the past that were a bit sketch. But I think on a whole, I do not think that they actually dislike other races. I think that it's a weird nationalist thing. But anyways, I don't know that I would actually spend my money on Druk yet. I think I would rather just listen to them. And if the guy ever comes out and explicitly says, yo, we're not racist, this is not the way things are, then I'll spend my money. But for right now, not giving Drook any money. Drook, Hate Forest, any of those guys. I was very happy to see the guy from Graveland, Rob Darkin. I was very happy to see him come out and say, yo, I'm not racist. My band is not, even though I don't really believe him. I think it's cool that people are trying to kind of sort of separate themselves from these weird areas. But yeah, let's move on past race. Let's talk about something else. Delta Judge looks like he just typed, or she, I don't know, typed an interesting question here. Do you find it weird how close people feel to content creators? So many people talk about YouTubers like they know them and they're owed something from them. It's always creeped me out a bit. Not saying you're not a person I don't appreciate, but I wouldn't pretend to know you or feel betrayed if you had other views than me. Delta Judge, you hit it 110% on the nose. It's natural to feel a connection to people who you spend a lot of time with, right? So when you watch people's videos, I understand how you might feel like you've developed a sort of friendship, but I think it's very important to keep those types of things in check. I think it's very important to understand that you do not know these people in real life. One of my favorite LP lines is he says, some people lose perspective on the rules of engagement. No, hold on. Oh, fuck. What's the goddamn line? Shit. I was about to spit some profound shit and I forgot the goddamn line. Oh, here it is. He says, some people think they know me because they play me in their homes and lose perspective on the rules of engagement and get smacked to the pavement. And what that means to me is a lot of people will watch our videos and then be like, I know this guy, we're buddies, or I know this guy, I know what he's going to do, I know what he's going to say, and they think that they can do and say anything they want to us, and then when we don't react in the way that they have like planned out in their weird little heads, their whole world is fucked up, But yes, I do think it's extremely bizarre for people to act this way. I would never overly defend a fucking YouTuber unless I've met them in person. And there's been very few that I've met in person. Besides Fantano, I can't even think of anybody else. Who else have I met in person? Fantano, 3 Creation. Oh, Spectrum Pulse. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Tyree. I met Spectrum Pulse. I knew there was one. I knew there was one that I was forgetting. The homie Mark. But yeah, it's like if somebody came out tomorrow and said, I think, no, I haven't done any videos with Luke James yet, Sir Meatwad, but I want to, because I really like Luke James. Luke James is a cool ass dude. But anyways, if somebody came out tomorrow and was like, yo, Spectrum Pulse is a homophobe or something, I mean, yeah, I'd be like, I don't think so. I met the guy and he didn't seem that way at all. But if somebody came out and said, yo, I heard that Luke James beats women, I would say I don't think that that's true at all, but I don't know you know what? I don't even want to put that out there. I don't even like where this is going because I don't want to put those kind of ideas out in the world. But I think you guys get my point. If somebody was saying something deeply personal about somebody that I wasn't deeply personal with, I would not go to bat for them immediately because I don't fucking know them. I've just talked to them on the computer, and that's really it. Delta Judge, I remember when PewDiePie said the N-word and my sister, who's 14 years old, defended him saying he's not like that. And I was like, how the fuck do you know? You never met dude. You're absolutely right, man. Certain things will disappoint me because it's the same with rappers. If one of my favorite, if somebody said, oh, Slug sexually assaulted somebody, I would be like, no fucking way. There's no way he would do that. I don't know for a fact, but from meeting him and talking to him for the little bit of time I did, and from listening to his music, I would want to say that no, I don't believe he would do that. Absolutely not. But do I know for a fact? Do I even know for a semi-fact? No, I really don't. So I don't know, man. It's a weird line that we kind of have to draw with respect and admiration versus like weird obsession, you know? Just because you watch somebody on a screen or just because you listen to somebody in your earbuds, that does not mean that they're your friend. That might mean that they've helped you through some things through their words, like Robert Smith has me, but that doesn't mean that you know them. It's really bizarre, man. Tyree Harris says, I remember there were two YouTube vloggers going through a rough patch in their relationship, and one comment I saw was that the audience deserved to know what was going on. It was the weirdest logic. You know what? And that's definitely a fucking weird comment. But you gotta think, if one day I quit Dead End Hip Hop, right? I guarantee there'd be 1 million people in the comment section that were demanding to know, like, what happened? Like, why are you guys not cool anymore? And it is weird logic. Trust me, I feel you, Tyree. But at the same time, I understand that logic. Like, you've developed a connection with these people, but you definitely don't deserve to know shit. This entitled mentality is totally different. Like, I don't owe you anything. Fantano doesn't owe you anything. Spectrum Pulse, Luke James. None of these guys owe you anything. It's just a very bizarre way of thinking that viewers and audiences have. Yeah, Delta Judge, with how symbolic social media has become, I think people will only continue to develop these new forms of relationships. Our cognitive process will always adapt to new circumstances. So older people like us will always think it's weird, since we remember a time when you had to go to your friend's house to know if they were home. Yes, I think that, again, with as much as we put ourselves out there onto these public platforms, our minds start to think that this is what is now normal, to where, like, you're absolutely correct. Like, back in our day, when your homie was feeling bad, you call him on the phone and be like, yo, like, let's hang out and see what's going on. Like, you don't send a text, or you're not going to read about it on Facebook. You know, you have to hear it from the horse's mouth. Woo-wee! I think we covered some pretty cool stuff in this one. But yeah, you know, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys for doing what you guys do. It's really awesome. You know, it's just awesome that I'm getting this type of support that I never ever really thought I would ever get. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you you guys. Man, this was fun, dude. Thank you guys for fucking hanging out with me. Keep an eye out. This video will be edited down and put up, and I don't know what this is. I don't know. All right, you guys, I will see you later. Have a good night.